Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy 16 stream. I'm your host, Starnum Lander, and it's time to continue. So let's see where we left off. We were headed back to Eastpool after having dealt with that big, huge, epic battle. So let's hurry back and check on everyone.
Torgal, what is it?
Nothing good, I'll wager. Come on.
What happened here?
Yes, that's right. I was trying to remember what we did last time. We had gone to the apothecary of the Phoenix, dealt with their machinations, and ultimately Clive was fighting with Ifrit, trying to come to terms with who he is and what he's done. Meanwhile, we come back to town to find what but Imperial Legionnaires attacking the city. We can't stand for this.
Thought you could escape us, did you, Branded? You were born a slave, and you'll die one!
What's that you say?
Kill all the ducal dogs!
Ducal dogs?
Ducal dogs?
Innocent people! That's enough. It's over.
must burn. The bearers and those who sheltered them. By Empress Annibella's command.
My mother ordered this. Why?
Clive,
I know. You can wait.
Enemy slain. There it is. Had to concentrate there for a moment to take the big guy down.
I'm sorry, Lady Hannah. You deserved so much better. All of these people did. Better than my mother.
We're too late. Gav. Clive. Acting on the orders of the Duchess, eh? We knew East Pool was harbouring bearers. Thought they were safe enough hidden up here, but someone must have let slip. If they'd have only come to us sooner, none of this would have had to happen. Fuck!
My mother always did despise bearers. The way Father embraced them when the other nations spat on them as slaves. The way an accident of birth gave them a power that others lacked.
But why kill everyone? They meant no harm. They just wanted to be free.
This world judges that a crime punishable by death. Which is why we're going to change it. Gav, we want to help.
Thought you'd got your own stuff to be getting on with.
We do. But it can wait.
In that case, we should head back and tell Sid you've had a change of heart. He was always on it yet to join us.
All right.
And we'd best be quick. Last I heard, he was planning another excursion.
What about the villagers?
Aye. Can I leave yous lot to take care of things here?
Of course. We'll make sure they get a proper burial.
Thank you. All of you.
When you're ready, then.
Now, rats, lead me to your nest. Lord Kupka has a message for your leader. If only he knew where to send it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't see that part last time. But yeah, I was gonna say, you know, hope you all don't mind the pardon the bouts of, you know, dead air, but during the fights sometimes, as I am concentrating on the winning the battle, hopefully there's enough going on screen to keep you entertained. But I'll fill in the gaps in between. Hopefully that'll be enough. Now, before we move on, we gotta touch our art stone, of course.
I heard Otto barking at his lot earlier. Didn't sound happy. What do you...
They even have a Moogle. I've never seen one in the flesh.
Well, here I am, so drink it in, Kupo.
Mystery that they live deep in the forest, and that they never reveal themselves to humans.
Huh. He knows this stuff, but what he doesn't know is that Nectar the Bold is no ordinary Moogle, Kupo.
Clive.
You understand Moogle tongue, Kupo?
So it would seem.
Finally, Kupo. I've been trying to talk to these people ever since the winds carried me here, but none of them understand a word I'm trying to say.
Painful.
But now you're here, my pom-pom, safe at last. You can hear me. You can actually hear me, Kupo. Seems no one's in the mood for merriment, so I'll stay mum for the moment, Kupo. Alright. I love Moogles. Sorry. Ooh, but yep, it's about that time, guys. Let's go check with Tomes. Get the lore updated. Let's get it over and done with right at the top.
Is it night?
No.
It can be hard to tell sometimes from where I sit. I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before.
Clive tells Hippocrates of his adventures, and Tomes updates the Tomes.
You wish to study the tomes?
The Purge of Eastpool. The Purge was a brutal attack on the Rosarian village of Eastpool in the year of 873. Annabella Lesage, Holy Empress of Sambrec and Vicereine of Rosaria, ordered that all bears being harbored by the villagers be slaughtered, along with those ducal loyalists who had given them shelter. In the ensuing massacre, Eastpool's population was effectively decimated, and ultimately the village was abandoned. Eastpool is a hamlet located in the eastern part of the imperial province of Rosaria. It was once surrounded by fertile farmlands, but the southward creep of the Blight eventually drove out most of the inhibitions. In the aftermath of the attack on Phoenix Gate in 860 and the Ironblood invasion that followed, many fled here, including bearers who had lost their masters. The majority of that population, however, was wiped out in the culling of bearers ordered by Empress Annabella, and the village now lies abandoned and in ruins. Ducal loyalists, those who maintain allegiance to the late Archduke Elwin and work for the revival of the fallen Duchy of Rosaria. After Rosaria was incorporated into the empire, most swore loyalty to their new vicereine, the Empress Annabella, even more converting after they saw how those who refused to change their allegiances were persecuted. This persecution was to only grow, culminating in the burning of Eastpool by imperial troops on the pretext that their reluctance to surrender Rosalith's bearers to the constabulary proved their disloyalty to the Holy Throne. The term had a different meaning in the time before imperial occupation. Rosaria was founded by the union of several small independent nations, each led by its own noble house. These houses remained powerful even after unification, sometimes leading to friction between the loyalists who argued for the Archduke's ultimate authority and the separatists who pushed for a return to autonomy. And some stuff will be repeated, but it is how it is as we go through and update the logs. Phoenix Gate, the remains of the fortress destroyed in the year 860, on what came to be known as the Night of Flames, the castle's invasion by Sanbreque assassins, and the battle between the two icons of fire that arose in its wake. Ancient ruins lie beneath and are reached by means of underground pathway. Prior to Rosaria becoming an imperial province, the gate was of great importance to the people of the duchy, being the site of the rite of ancestral communion. Ancient mural. A wall painting found in the depths of the apothecary under Phoenix Gate. Who created it and for what purpose is unknown, but the celestial being in the center suggests some connection to a long-lost religion. Hugo Kupka, awakening as the dominant of the Icon Titan, thrust him to the forefront of Dalmekian politics, winning him influence over both the Republic's armies and its policymaking, as well as a personal fortune. His greatest treasure, however, was always Benedicta Harmon. So when a servant of Waylud informed him that his love had been slain by Cid, his fury toward the outlaw and his allies knew no bounds. Persons of interest. Updated Clive's information. An imperial bearer turned deserter, he and his childhood friend Jill journeyed to their homeland of Rosaria to learn the truth of the events that shaped their histories. Their paths take them through the village of Eastpool, where they met with Hannah Murdoch, wife of the late Lord Commander. She presents Clive with a set of clothes that once belonged to his father. Jill Warwick, dominant of Shiva and Clive's childhood friend, after Clive and Cid spirited her away from the battlefield where she was being forced to fight for the Iron Blood, Jill was placed in the care of the hideaway's talented physicker, Tarja, who nursed her back to health. Finally awake after her long period of convalescence, she sets out with Clive to discover the truth of their past. Gav, Cid's faithful scout, the ever-agreeable fellow, volunteered to follow after the dominant that Clive had long been hunting, only to find himself being hunted in turn by the Imperials. As luck would have it, Clive arrived in the nick of time to save his life, forging an unbreakable bond between them. Yep, good old Gav. Kenneth, chief cook at Sid's Hideaway. Though the range and quality of ingredients on offer in their of ingredients on offer in their hidden Deadland home is limited at best, Kenneth finds opportunity in adversity, concocting toothsome fare from whatever happens to be at hand. Martha, landlady of the Golden Stables, the tavern at the heart of Martha's Rest. She's also a friend of Sid's cause, keeping the hideaway supplied with both victuals and information on developments in Western Storm. A second string to her business that she strives to keep secret from the Imperial authorities. And who can blame her, really? Bernard, a carpenter who resides at Martha's Rest, whose speed and skill, together with the surrounding marshes waters, deleterious effects on the planks and piles of the village's many bridges, keep his services in high demand. Annabella Lesage, former Duchess of Rosaria, now Empress of the Holy Empire of Sanbreque. It was ever her purpose in life to preserve her phoenix-bearing bloodline, for which reason she betrayed her husband, that she might enter in league with a force she judged the mightier. Now she rules over Rosaria as vicereine of the imperial province, which she rules with a cruelty and contempt for the base-born that was unknown in Archduke Elwin's day. Despicable. Rodney Murdoch was Lord Commander of the Rosarian army, outranked only by his firm friend Archduke Elwin. When Clive manifested into Efreet during the attack at Phoenix Gate, Murdoch lost his life to the Infernal Icon's flames. I mean, we knew this. I'm not sure why they felt the need to have us update that, and we know that poor Hannah Murdoch was his wife, and she just recently passed away in the Purge. It's horrible. All right, moving on to the lay of the land. We have new information about Rosalith Castle. Situated in the heart of the ducal capital of Rosalith, it was from this towering ivory fortress that the Archduke and his family once ruled their proud nation. A well-armed Sanbreque garrison has been stationed here since 860, when the duchy was annexed by the Empire following the tragedy at Phoenix Gate and the subsequent invasion by the Iron Crusade. The Apothecary is a place of worship located in the depths of Phoenix Gate, an ancient stronghold on the northwestern border of the former Duchy of Rosaria. A large mural dominates this sacred chamber where the rite of ancestral communion, a ceremony carried out by the duchy's dominant prior to marching into battle, was once performed. Got some tongue-twisting run-on sentences, but that's okay. Martha's Rest, it was a small settlement. We know about it. We'll skip down a little bit where it says, while the former duchy may want for cheer since being annexed by the Empire, the Rest is a rare spot for sunshine among the gloom, and most travelers make a point of stopping over when they're passing through. Good stuff. The Glademond Abbey, clutch of humble stone buildings, perched above Sorrowwise Bay in the imperial province of Rosaria's southeastern lowlands. The abbey was built in order to propagate the Gregorian faith after the Duchy of Rosaria was made part of the Holy Empire of Sanbreque, and as such is one of the rare examples of imperial architecture in the region. Good to know. The territorialization of Rosaria. I mean, we're fairly aware of it, but in the year 861, taking advantage of the discord rising from Rosaria's internal woes in the wake of the Night of the Flames, the Iron Blood launched an attack. They took over. Later that same year, Sanbreque stepped in and forced once proud duchy to submit to one final humiliation by becoming a vassal state, just as Duchy Annabella and her imperial conspirators had planned. The Three Reeds is an area of marshland in the eastern part of the imperial province of Rosaria, just south of Martha's Rest. Numerous shacks and hovels dotted about the swamp suggest that the area was once at least sparsely populated. However, now most lie broken and abandoned, their owners having fled for more habitable climes once the waters began to rise. Holy Empire of Sandbreck. What's new on that? Let's look for, you know, what's important that we need to read. King's Fall, located in western Sandbreck near the Rosarian border. King's Fall is a towering cataract fed by the waters of multiple converging tributaries. Though these waters long played an integral part in the lives of nearby settlers, an influx of displaced beasts fleeing from the blight has forced many to abandon their climb to the resource. Castle Dazbog is built within the dome-like mountain that contains Drake's Fang. It is the primary residence of Hugo Kupka, dominant of Titan, and is lavishly appointed to suit his extravagant tastes. The Boiling Crusade, a surprise attack launched by the Iron Kingdom on the Duchy of Rosaria in the year 860. Rosaria was critically weakened at the time, having lost Archduke Elwin Rosfield and been plunged into chaos in the aftermath of the attack on Phoenix Gate. The Iron Blood unleashed a wave of murderous destruction on the Rosarians and returned home with human spoils in the form of countless young women and children, such as Jill Warwick. Yes, okay. 860, that was the year in which we had the Night of Flames. The Crystal's Curse. The price bearers in dominance pay for channeling ether through their bodies. The gradual petrification of their flesh. It does not affect those who use a crystal to cast magics. Beginning with a stiffness and an ache in the extremities, as the curse progresses, limbs are rendered immobile and the pain unbearable. At last the victim turns completely to stone and their bodies crumble into dust. There is no known cure. Horrible. We know what a dominant is. We know what a bearer is. We know about the branded soldiers. Basically, if you're branded, you're forced to be a slave. That can sometimes include conscription, which is when you're forced to join the military. Okay, echoes. Strange clockwork constructs often encountered in fallen ruins. The question of whether or not they are truly alive is open to debate, as they do not appear to require water, nor do they feed on the flesh of their victims as beasts do, and seemingly exist solely to protect their inhabitants from intruders. Their habitat. All echoes are encased in protective plating that is made from the same material as the ruins, and thus cannot be destroyed, though repeated blows will cause individual plates to dislodge, eventually causing the entire construct to collapse in on itself. Ultima's thralls, twisted and glowing blue creatures that awaited Clive and Jill deep within Phoenix Gate to try and prevent them from gaining the innermost recesses of the apothecary. Now we can really get into the bestiary a little bit. We've kind of been skimping on it. Let's look at minotaurs. See what we can learn, but everybody knows what a minotaur is. What can we learn about Valisthian minotaurs? That's what we're here to do, guys. This is the lore of the game. We're here to enjoy the story of the game, but also the awesomeness of the gameplay and everything. But minotaurs, towering beastmen that combine the heads of oxen with bodies eerily human. Minotaurs are abnormally aggressive, a trait that suggests that little man remains within the beast, and they roam the grassy meadows of Rosaria, doling out violence seemingly indiscriminately with their crude yet massive clubs. Despite the obvious danger, however, hunters still actively seek out these menaces for their lustrous manes, which often command exorbitant prices at markets. The Black Widow. Unlike many arachnids which use gossamer webbing to ensnare their victims, black widows prefer instead to cling silently to trees and cliffs and await the passing of an animal below, at which time they leap down and assault their prey with hooked limbs and caustic spit. They prefer dark, cool environs, and as such are rarely seen in Valistia's southern deserts. Megalocrabs. Making a habitat of waters both fresh and brackish, these goodly crustaceans spend most of their time buried in the mud, where they warm their sanguine humors as they wait for a potential meal to wander by. Since the time of the founder, the people of Rosaria have hunted megalocrab for their sweet, succulent flesh and creamy tamale. The species having long been known among the small folk as fire crab, for the bright red color and phoenix-like patterns which emerge on the shells after boiling. Cray claws. Found mostly in and around the lakes and rivers of Sanbreque and Rosaria, these deadly predators are equipped with scissor-like pincers with which to dismember and eviscerate their prey. If that were not enough, the creatures take in water from their habitat to create highly corrosive juices in their bellies, which they then spit out onto their victim's flesh to soften it, making it easier to consume. Oh, look at that guy. He's gnarly, right? Don't want to get munched up by one of those, let me tell you. Bombs. Most Final Fantasy fans are familiar with bombs, which are floating masses of self-contained flame found across both storm and ash. These creatures lack the flesh with which we associate with typical fauna, leading scholars of the natural world to posit that they are not descended of any beast, but rather ungodly creations of the fallen. By suppressing their internal furnaces, bombs can allow their bodies to cool and harden until appearing not more than simple stones unworthy of remark. It is in this form that they hunt their prey, waiting until an unfortunate soul has stumbled upon their place of rest before rising up from the ground to spew forth fiery gouts of death. Oddly, should the prey fight back, the bomb will not flee, but rather combust spontaneously, sacrificing its own life to save the flock. Yep, you gotta watch that self-combustion at the end. It's a doozy. Iron Giants, another classic staple of Final Fantasy. Oversized suits of armor animated by lost fallen magics. Deceptively swift despite their size, they wield both sword and shield skillfully and effectively, while the otherworldly plate which surrounds their vulnerable cores provide them with a nigh impenetrable defense. Good to know. Good stuff, guys. That's it. We're good.
Welcome, Clive.
All right. Feel free to have scum scrubbed ahead. If not, thanks for coming back, being with us. Story time's over. Time to continue.
I'll fetch you a bowl of brown. I heard you lost someone in Eastpool. I'm sorry. If there's anything you need, just say the word.
Aye.
To our friends, and to those who might have been.
Appreciate it, guys. You know, it's like, I like to think that somebody out there is going to be appreciating that lore. And if it's not for you, as I said, feel free, skip ahead. And we'll be getting right back to the action and the, let's be honest, amazing cutscenes and boss battles of this game before you know it. That's the beauty of watching in the VOD. And for anyone who would catch it live, I'd appreciate that too.
This place is getting more crowded by the day.
I tell myself the bustle's a blessing. There'll be time enough for quiet contemplation when I'm dead. So, did you find the answers you were looking for?
I still don't know what to make of this gift, curse, or whatever it is I've been given. But there is one thing I can say for certain. I am a dominant, Ifrit. And there is nothing I can do to change that. It is a burden I must bear until my dying day.
Spoken true. Forgiveness, and in turn salvation, can only begin with acceptance. It's a path we all must walk, no matter how colourful our histories.
Sid, you once told me that you wanted to build a place where people could die on their own terms.
I did.
I've been thinking about that. Why not a place where people can live on their own terms? For 13 years, killing was all I knew. So obsessed with death that I never stopped to consider the lives of those around me. Lives that I see now were scarcely worth living. Be they bearers or beggars, most march blindly to their end, never realizing that they too deserve a choice. And I dare not turn a blind eye to their suffering any longer.
So, atonement then, is it?
That was the answer we found.
The only one we need.
I'll be expecting you both to pull your weight.
And we will.
Well then, with a sprinkle of fire and ice, this plan of mine might just work.
What trouble are you looking to get yourself into now?
The best kind. We're going to sneak into the Imperial capital and pay a visit to Mother.
And the last of our farmholds in the eastern provinces has succumbed to the blight.
Without their yield, we will be hard-pressed to fill the capital's granaries before winter.
If there is a capital by then, the black creeps closer as we speak.
And yet you do naught but bawl and bluster.
Your Radiance?
If it is fertile land the Empire requires, we need but look south.
If you mean the crystalline Dominion's holdings, we are bound by mutual accord. Theirs is a neutral state whose borders we are sworn to respect.
Gentlemen, did we swear to see our people starve?
Well, I really do think
The gates of Oriflamme buckle at the flood of those come seeking refuge from the blight. If there is not grain enough to feed those within our walls, how, pray tell, will we feed those without? But instead of setting your minds to riddles such as these, you lock horns with an enemy from across the sea, sending our soldiers to the slaughter in their thousands. The Empire bleeds, and you sit here prattling like crones in a tea house. And you fancy yourselves leaders of men. Sanbreque is naught without her citizens. We are but their servants. If their land is being wrested away, it is our duty to claim new lands for them.
Your Radiance! You cannot mean a war of conquest.
That is exactly what I mean. It is time we expanded our dominion. This is the will of great Grieger.
There will be uproar. Then we must find a way to distract the citizenry. But how much will that cost?
And what of our legions? Shall we raise the furs?
Well, someone will have to contend with the Dalmex.
I will not keep you. You all have much to do. Where is my son?
The Lord Prince is currently garrisoned at the Strait of Author. If it please you, I can send word requesting his immediate return to the Holy Capital.
That won't be necessary. Tell him instead to see to his wounds. Bahamut's strength will be needed again soon.
As you command.
I must have misheard. You mean to tell me that the Mother Crystals are the reason the world is dying? Are you mad?
I have been called that on occasion, but no, not today. We've all seen it firsthand. Empty wastes where once were green meadows. Land drained so dry of its ether, not even the rats remained. But where was it all going? I spent years searching for an answer, until I saw it standing right in front of me. There, in the self-same crystals we look to for their so-called blessing. All right, listen. Take this crystal. How does it allow us to conjure magics? Answer, by drawing ambient ether from the air. And where do these crystals come from?
That's easy. They're mined from the Mother Crystals.
They're one and the same. Although admittedly this here fits more easily in the pocket.
But the Mother Crystals are massive. Some as large as mountains.
So you see the problem. Imagine just how much ether can be drawn by something that size. As to where it's all going, mind, well, I can't know everything, can I?
We are taught that the Mother Crystals are divine. Their ether a gift from the heavens. For centuries, nations have fought and fallen for want of that gift. If what you say is true, how did no one else see it?
Who says they didn't? Maybe the truth was inconvenient.
Inconvenient to whom, exactly?
The higher-ups? The gods themselves?
So now you want to do something about the crystals? And what? We're not helping bearers and dominants anymore.
I didn't say that. I made a promise and I intend to keep it. But if we continue down this path, there's only one fate that awaits the realm. And we can't very well set our people free if they're all lying dead in a blighted ditch. Not if we want to create a place where they can live on their own terms anyway. Sort of defeats the purpose. So, if we have to bring the old world crashing down in order to build us a new one, what say you? Are you with me?
I suppose it's about time I repaid your faith.
Sounds like a plan.
You could have just said aye. But it's nice to have you aboard all the same.
What have I got myself into? I'm going to need more than a few potions for this.
Don't mind me. Just taking a quick breather, ain't I?
Wanted to send a message, most likely.
It's all gone. The letter. No, 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 no. Oh, please, no.
You've lost a letter. Nothing too important, I hope.
Not just a letter. I lost everything. There's a hole in my damn pack, and fool that I am, I didn't bloody notice.
It can't be that bad, surely.
How could it be any worse? I'm a courier. I carry things. If I can't do my job right, then what am I good for? Nothing, that's what. I buggered it right up. That means no herbs for the infirmary, and no fresh meat for our cooking pots. Worst of all, that letter I lost? It was for Sid. A letter he's been waiting on for days.
Maybe if you retrace your steps.
I'd scour Storm from coast to coast if I could, but there are curse breakers in the field, counting on my arrival. No, I'll just have to own up to Otto and Sid. They're gonna skin me alive.
Fine. Tell me where to look.
Are you serious? Thank you.
It sounds like the hideaway could use those supplies. So, where should I start?
Gotan's bales, perhaps? I took a tumble in the bushes when I was passing through. There's a chance my pack might have caught on something. If you can find everything I dropped, you'll be doing us all a favor. And if you can find Sid's letter, you'll be saving my life.
If it's there, I'll find it.
Wonderful. Now, I have to run if I'm to make my next delivery in time. I trust you can find your way to Gotan's bales. Oh, and hurry, will you? Sid doesn't like to be kept waiting.
I'm sure he doesn't. The letter won't last very long out in the elements. I should make for Sandbreck as soon as I can.
He's never this late. I can't. Where are you, Randall?
Is everything all right?
Forgive me, young man. I was in a world of my own. I'm worried about my friend, you see. He left some time ago and hasn't returned. And you know what it's like out there for a bearer on his own.
Why leave the safety of the hideaway?
For coin. Sad though it is, our need outweighs the risk. The hideaway can't survive on goodwill alone. And though Karen does what she can, her coffers aren't bottomless. Wait, you were a soldier, were you not? In the Imperial Army?
I was.
Then might I ask a favour of you? I'm too old to be traipsing hither and yon. Will you go and find him for me?
Of course.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Randall, and I suspect you'll find him in Lostwing. He's been working for Quinton, the tavern keeper. He'll know something, I'm sure.
I'll speak to him.
Safe travels, my friend. And thank you again.
before we go off a questing.
Heard Otto barking at his lot earlier. Didn't sound happy.
Yes, something new. We need to check with our Forge Master.
What'd you want?
Flame tongue. With the tongue of flame, spake he the words of destruction. So you have to use Stormcry, the current sword, along with a fire shard and a meteorite to make it. So you're always kind of trying to build on your previous weapon to make a new, better weapon. Or usually.
We lost you a good while. That it? Fine.
We're gonna need supplies, so let's talk to Karen first.
So what God's forsaken corner of the realm is Sid dragging you off to this time?
Oriflamme.
The holy capital. And what business would you lot having? On second thoughts, I don't want to know. It'd better all be here. You're rubbing me blind, you know. It'd better all be here. You're rubbing me blind, you know.
A Lionheart tonic. Gradually fills limit break gauge for 30 seconds. It's said that one's own limits are made to be broken, but that doing so is easier said than done. Fortunately, there are ways of convincing the mind that such improbable feats are not only possible, but readily within reach. This tonic being one of them. Nice.
Speaking of Oriflamme, I hear the trading routes leading south have seen more than double the usual traffic. If you ask me, summat foul's brewing, and it ain't Tyre's borbile tea. Oh, just go and see Otto, will ya?
All right.
Alrighty, but before we continue on with the main quest line, we have 2 side quests. But before we do those, a quick intermission, if you will. Be right back, guys. Thanks. Alright, guys. Appreciate your patience. And we're back. Let's see what we got. Any good new accessories? Currently using the Wheel of Fire. Could maybe replace Badge of Metal. Wheel of Fire, Favor of Wind. Rook's Gambit. I don't have these. That's the problem. I'm not using those abilities. We'll stick with Badge of Metal for now. Abilities. Free channeled. Limit break. 1,000 to add a new limit break gauge. Ooh, I'm getting close to Aerial Blast. I prefer that. So we'll save up. Now we need to speak with Quentin in Lost Wing and search Goltan's bales for the missing items. No good, it's just right over here.
The courier said his pack might have split while he was passing through the bales. I better keep my eyes open. Good. Looks like I'm in the right area. More of the lost supplies. I doubt he could have fit much more in his pack. Still no sign of Sid's letter, though. We've come this far. Might as well ask around.
A little overdressed to be picking grapes, aren't you? Are you here for Master Quentin?
I'm looking for a letter someone dropped nearby. I don't suppose you've seen it.
Can't say I have, sorry.
Well, if you do...
Wait, I did pass a dog with something in its mouth a little while back. Could have been a piece of paper. No idea if it was your letter, but you never know.
Which way did it go?
Towards Lost Wing? Seemed well looked after to me. Dare say someone there's been feeding it.
To the village, then. Thank you.
Back, are ya? Did Master Quentin summon ya?
The shad's all salted and smoked, but it'll be an age before the stink's gone from my skirts.
It seems we have our culprit. Sorry, boy. Someone's waiting for this. And he's waited long enough already. Hopefully this will keep our courier out of trouble.
Why is he barking? Like he's mad that we took the letter from him. He's like, that's my letter. Sorry, boy. Gotta get it back to the man, the boss man.
Sun's setting fast. They'll all be back from the vineyard soon.
There haven't been any surprises since your last visit. But we all know how fast that can change.
Ah, if it isn't Sid's young protege. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm looking for a bearer called Randall. I hear he's been coming to you for work. He was expected back at the hideaway some time ago. A friend of his asked me to check on him.
Randall, you say? The porter? Yes, I know him. And I can't say I'm surprised if he has been delayed. I gave him enough to do. Though, thinking about it, he should probably have been back by now.
I'll go and look for him. Where was he headed?
He was to meet an associate of mine to the south of here, on Lorbert's Pass. I do hope nothing's happened to him.
I like how the music dropped, or like it died down whenever things got serious. He's like, oh, it should have been back by now, though. And the music died down. It's good stuff. It's little touches like that, man. Make a great game. It's like an interactive cinematic experience. And hopefully, I can help bring that immersion a little bit more, bring it to life a little bit more for you guys. If that's what you're here for, I hope so. Lorbert's Pass. Gonna have to go on foot. It's out of ways, but we'll get there.
I heard from a couple of the bearers what you did to them royalists over at the Care. Glad you're on our side.
You all right?
The hanged man. Thank the gods. You're one of us. We were attacked. Beastmen on the road. Randall knew he didn't play the hero, but the sod insisted on drawing him off.
Where did this happen?
Further down the road. In the clearing. Please. You have to see that he's safe.
I'll do what I can. You go back to Lost Wing and tell Quentin what happened. Goblins. Why am I not surprised? That's enough. Too slow.
Not this time. Get him! Not this time.
Sorry, Randall. Looks like I was too late. He doesn't deserve to rot by the roadside. I'll speak to Quentin.
It's unfortunate about Randall. We took care of the monsters. What did it? Now we return to town to inform the parishioner, the patron. Quentin. I won't forget how I made us sleep on the floor that one time, though. And then charged us for it. Nah, but he's a good man. Takes care of his people.
Sun's setting fast. They'll all be back from the vineyard soon.
Ah, there you are. My man told me what happened. And? I can't help but notice you're alone. Damn it. I feared as much.
He's not far from the south gate. I trust you'll do right by him.
Of course. I'll send someone right away. I knew he was brave, though I didn't know he was reckless. Poor fool.
Had you known him long?
A while. I liked the fact that he didn't shy away from dangerous work, and he liked what I paid.
Because it helped keep the hideaway afloat.
I'll tell Sid what happened here. I expect he'll be none too pleased to learn of Randall's fate. And I suppose you're none too happy either. For your trouble.
I heard Otto barking at his lot earlier.
Wanted to send a message.
Maybe I should just own up to what Owen said. Oh, there you are. I just got back to the hideaway and thankfully Otto hasn't seen me yet. I don't suppose you,
Found the things you dropped. I did.
I was so sure they'd be gone.
And the letter?
Only a little worse for wear.
No more skulking about in the shadows for me, then. And all thanks to you. Losing those supplies was one thing, but if Sid had found out about that letter...
Is it about Cursebreaker business?
If only. It's from his daughter. She's off studying in Canver, and her letters are all that keeps Sid sane while she's away.
He never mentioned a daughter.
Well, he's a busy man. And thanks to you, he won't be wasting his time smiting careless couriers with levin bolts. So I'd say you did us both a service. Here, for your troubles. If there's anything you're wanting from Sid, today's the day. He'll be sweet as honey once he gets his hands on this. Take a seat, Clive.
So you're really going through with it? Sid's been talking about bringing down a mother crystal since I've known him. But that's all it's ever been. Talk.
He's convinced it's the right thing to do. We'll be leaving for the capital shortly.
Well, you couldn't have picked a better moment. Seems the hiding the Royalists gave him wasn't enough to dampen old Sylvester's spirits. His legions are on the march again. This time, due south.
Another war.
All as the great Grieger wills it. Bloodthirsty little miss, that one. That's God's for you, innit? Still, might work to our advantage on this occasion. Wars breed chaos. On the front lines, and at home. With a fair wind behind them, a handful of like-minded ne'er-do-wells could melt into the back alleys of Oriflamme. No trouble. It's making it to the capital that's the problem.
The checkpoint.
That's right. Anyone travelling in or out of Oriflamme has to go through Northreach. Lucky for you, I might just know of a way.
This?
Well, no, not that. That gets you an audience with the Dame. And it's the Dame who'll see you safely through Northreach. I'll send the Stolas in the morning. Let her know you're coming. We go way back. And she's a true friend of the cause. I'm sure you'll get on like a house on fire.
That's good of you, but... who is this Dame, and where will I find her?
She's the proud proprietress of Northreach's foremost house of ill repute. The Vale. And she's quite a woman, if you know what I mean.
A woman? Right.
Don't go blinding her with your charm now, lad. I'll be expecting a full report when you get back.
Ailent reports. Ailent reports are now available for viewing by speaking to Goat in the Ailent report counter in the Hideaway's mess. These reports compiled by the Cursebreakers contain information on quests currently available across Valisthea.
I suppose that's everything. Now to find Gav.
Oh, you're the new lad, aren't you? Goat at your service. Well, at the Hideaway service, anyway. Otto's put me in charge of reading through the reports sent in by our allies and picking out any problems that might warrant the attention of the Cursebreakers. Or any other willing volunteers. And there's no shortage of problems, I can tell you. Or maybe I don't have to. I'll warrant a strapping lad like you's got people begging him for help wherever you go. Anyway, if you're ever interested in taking a look over the list, just say the word. Reckon you could probably tick off the odd thing here and there. They say little acts of kindness are their own reward. But if that ain't enough, these have got proper bounties on them and all. Me?
I do what Otto tells me. Suppose you could say I'm his right-hand man. He's a hard master, but not nearly as hard as my old one was. When that man beat me, he bloody threw me out onto the streets to die. It was Otto who found me and took me in. And so I help him look after the ledgers, as well as reading through all the reports coming in from our allies across the Twins. And if it sounds like someone's out there and needs our help, I make a note so I can point any willing volunteers in the right direction.
So, what'd you say?
Are you willing? There's no sure way of turning Otto's frown. A little less frowny.
Here you go.
Use Goat's alien reports to not only find new quests around Valisthea, but also travel immediately to the obelisk waypoint nearest their location.
Ah, you're Sid's man, if I'm not mistaken. Couldn't trouble you for some assistance, could I?
That depends. What do you need?
Some new bearers from Oriflamme just arrived, and it cost Master Quintin a pretty penny to convince their owner to part with them. The man must have been a bloody tyrant. I can't get a peep out of them, try as I might.
They're probably terrified of you.
You're probably right. Dare say it'd take a bearer like yourself to open them up. So, will you have a word with them? Help them settle in?
I can try.
That'll do me. Tell them they're safe, and that if they need anything, they just have to ask.
I'll let them know.
Appreciate it. They're sitting over there, taking a long overdue breather, looks like.
So you're the new arrivals. Is there anything I can get you? You're safe here. They don't punish people like us for speaking our minds.
Truly. I'm hungry. My sister too, we're starving.
Wait here. I'll fetch you something from the tavern.
Thank you.
I won't be long. You stay here and rest.
But how did the grocer know his daughter? Sun's setting fast.
I'll have 2 plates of whatever you're serving.
Sorry. We've enough mouths of our own to feed without tending to the wants of outsiders.
It's not for me. It's for some new arrivals.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't see the mark. So you're a comrade. Well, in that case, you may have whatever you require. Take all the bread and wine you want.
That's really all it takes. One look at the innkeeper's mark.
Of course it is. I do as Master Quintin commands, as do we all. And Master Quintin commands that none of his favoured guests be left wanting. Well, don't keep our new comrades waiting. Take what you need and see that they eat their fill.
Bread and wine. Hopefully this will be enough.
Don't tell me. Turnips for supper.
Brother, did you see? That bearer spoke to a master.
What manner of place is this?
Here. Bread and wine from the tavern.
May we? Truly? Such plenty. Never in all my days.
Brother, this place is like a dream. We sat and no one shouted. We ate and more was offered.
I know. I can't believe it.
You're free now. And the next time you're hungry, you need only ask to be fed.
Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Master Quinton will never forgive me if I don't save that crop. I want no trouble. Wait, that's... Oh, glory to Grieger. You were the hanged man. I took you for a rogue. If you're a friend of Master Quinton's, then perhaps you'll help me. His vineyard, Lostwing's pride and joy, has been beset by a plague of giant wasps.
And you need someone to solve your pest problem.
I do indeed. I've never seen them so far from the forest, nor so mean, for that matter. I suppose the smell's got them worked up. And little wonder. This'll be the finest crop we've ever known if the fiends don't eat it first. I tried chasing them off myself, but they won't flee from the likes of me. And if I don't bring those grapes in for pressing soon, Master Quinton will have my guts for garters. You look like you can handle that blade of yours. Will you put it to use for a comrade in need? Please, rid us of these wasps so I can be about my business.
All right. I'll see to it.
Oh, thank you. You'll find them over at Gotan's Bales on the edge of town. And hurry, Lostwing needs those grapes.
How did the grocer know his daughter had been stealing?
Don't tell me. Turnips for supper.
Turnips for supper, huh? I don't even know if I've ever even eaten a turnip.
I'll have you know, manning the village entry is no small task. There's plenty of unsavoury sorts in these parts looking to get their thieving claws into what's ours.
That must be the vineyard. A few wasps shouldn't give me too much trouble.
Stay down!
Stay down! You're finished! Lose!
Looks like that was the last of them. I better let Quentin's man know.
But how did the grocer know his daughter had been stealing?
It gets really dark sometimes when you come out from outside where it's bright and you walk in. I know that's like kind of intentional by design, but it just makes it hard to see when you walk into the buildings sometimes.
Those wasps won't be interfering with your harvest anymore.
Oh, thank you. Master Quentin would have had my head if I'd lost the crop. I'd say you've earned a reward. Our Gotand Rouge fetches a handsome price to keep our comrades fed and imperial wolves from our door. The vineyards were Master Quentin's idea. He wanted to give bearers a place to work, a place where they'd be safe.
Well, he certainly seems to have done that here. I'm glad I could help.
I'll see that he hears of your kindness. And once this vintage is ripe for drinking, there'll be a glass or two raised in your honor.
Done for. I've seen your face before. You're a friend of Martha's. Help us, I beg you.
Help you with what?
Bandits in the Golden Stables. They're waving their swords around. I think they're going to kill someone. When I saw what was happening, I slipped out the back. I should have stayed, but... Oh, please help them.
All right. I'll see to your problem.
Thank you.
How many were there?
I was out of the door too fast to count. They looked a nasty bunch, though. Be careful in there, all right?
Ha! Golden Stables my ass. All Martha's hiding back here is coppers. Huh? Oh, that's a fine sword, friend. Heavy, though, I expect. What say we relieve you on it? Get him, lads. I want that blade.
Let's get this over with.
That's enough. It's over. It's over.
I'll be keeping my blade, thank you.
There he is! The hero of the Golden Stables!
People will think twice about pushing us around again, thanks to you. We're lucky you were nearby. No good cowards wouldn't have dared set foot in the place if I'd been here, of course.
But you weren't. I thought you told me you had someone watching the place.
The Blood Axes keep an eye on the tavern, yeah. When they're not busy keeping the peace, that is. I've spread them as thin as they'll go. The Empire might be in charge, but that don't mean they care to keep us safe. If it weren't for the Blood Axes and me, merchants won't come near these lands for fear of what might happen to them.
I see. Then you do Rosaria a great service.
Just as you did today. You're a useful man to have around. Here.
And there'll be a mug of something tasty waiting for you whenever you next stop by.
Right, we've got work to do for to make this place presentable. You best be going, before I arm you with a mop.
There he is, the man of the hour. You're the one who saw off the bandits, aren't you? Martha was singing your praises. Takes a brave man to march into danger out of the goodness of his heart. You have my respect.
A Rosarian salute.
Well, what is it they say? Old habits die hard. I trust you won't be reporting me to the Viceroy. If we'd had a few more like you about, perhaps the Rosfields might still... Listen to me rambling on. Thank you again, and, take care of yourself.
I heard Otto barking at his lot earlier. And what do you want? If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it. Finished, are you?
Alright, well, everything looks good. Time to push on.
Well, 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 someone's in a hurry.
Just following orders.
Funny, I never took you for the type.
Can't all be as obedient as you, Gav.
Eh?
Fine day for a little mischief, wouldn't you say?
Is this all of us?
Actually, Gav won't be coming.
Just the three of us, then?
Drake said is the keystone of the Empire. Oriflamme's in chaos, yes, but that doesn't mean we can march an army through her gates. The fewer our numbers, the better our chances of going unnoticed. And should that plan fail, well, we have our icons to fall back on.
Sid, I don't know if I can. Ifrit still seems to come and go as he pleases.
Ordinarily, priming an icon comes naturally to a dominance. But then, you are no ordinary dominance.
Well, he's still got the blessing of the Phoenix, doesn't he?
Not to mention what he sucked out of Garuda. And did I ever tell you about how he was once the greatest shield in Rosaria? You know, I reckon he could probably cut us a path out of the capital on his own if need be.
Let's try not to find out.
We're less likely to be spotted if we travel separately. I'll meet you in Northreach in a few days. You two behave now.
So, we're meeting in Northreach. And will I find Sid and Jill before this dame finds me?
But how did the grocer know his daughter had been stealing?
Is it safe to ride to Northreach now?
There. Northreach. No mistakes.
The soldiers used to speak of a brothel, but that was north of the checkpoint. I hope the dame has friends in the south.
Give me one of those hams.
Fresh fish, all from the Sea of Grace this very morn.
Keep your hands to yourself. No one will buy anything that's been soured by a branded's touch.
You there! Fancy a drop of the Empire's
The right to
finest?
confiscate any objects forbidden by the throne.
The fruit's not getting any fresher.
Welcome. I'll be here if you need me.
You want something, you come back with your master. I won't sell to some stray branded.
I simply can't decide. I'll just have to take them all.
With reds, whites, ales, meads, ciders.
A moment, my lady.
A moment? I doubt you could afford even that much of my time. Branded.
My mistake.
No, mine. Upon reflection, you don't have the scent of a branded about you. The flowers. Otto always did know how to please me. More than Sid ever did, anyway. Do you think you could please me, Clive?
You're the dame.
Let us leave such impersonal titles to my less preferred clientele. You can call me Isabel. Otto assured me I could trust you. I can trust you, can't I?
You can trust me, yes, but... why would you...
Help you? Because that's what we do. Long ago, Sid did me a kindness when no one else would. I have never forgotten that. Without it, I would not be where I am today. And so, I make it a point to do the same whenever possible. Which brings us here. To the final obstacle between you and whatever it is you seek in the holy capital. I fear the guards are not likely to let a masterless bearer pass unmolested. Unless...
Unless...
Unless, of course, his master deigned to appear. Yes, that will do nicely. But I shall expect a favor in return.
Wait, what?
You say these are all from down there?
Are you gonna buy something or not?
What the hell are you doing?
Tut-tut. We cannot have people thinking I tolerate disobedience from my branded.
The men who gave me this are no more my masters than you are. But... it's not as if I can hide it.
From the moment you acquired it, that brand has done naught but take. But today, it is going to give you exactly what you want. Just play along.
Madame, back to the Vale already?
But of course, we must make ready to welcome you, my dear.
And who might this be?
Why, my new escort. The streets aren't safe for a girl, what with all the royalists about.
Well, don't work him too hard.
Well, that rather depends on you now, doesn't it? I'll see you all at sunset.
Oi, hold up. Another fucking branded. Well, you're lucky you're with the dame. Now get out of my sight, filth.
That wasn't so bad.
Wasn't so bad. They might have recognized me.
But they didn't. And even if they had, they wouldn't have done anything about it. The gentlemen of the garrison are some of my best customers. We have an arrangement, as do you and I. Now, if you'd care to follow me, we can speak more at the Vale.
Doesn't seem like I have much of a choice.
Well then, I suppose we'll...
And if anyone requests her company, tell them she is feeling unwell.
Madame, you look stunning.
As do you, my dear.
Shall I have one of the girls draw a bath?
That won't be necessary. Clive, my darling. Welcome to the Vale.
Thank you for seeing me through the gates, my lady. I am in your debt.
Well, that was the whole point, wasn't it? And I told you, it's Isabel. Whatever wound you so tight, I wonder. It's certainly not Sid's influence.
You, mentioned a favor. What is it you'd have me do? I don't want to keep my companions waiting.
If you mean Sid and the girl, you needn't worry. They have yet to reach the checkpoint. Yes, Otto asked me to help them as well. But to answer your question, I need you to find someone for me. One of my girls. Tatienne has been gone for several days now, having left no word of explanation. And I've begun to fear the worst.
I feel as if I've spent my whole life searching for people. Though I can't say I'm any good at it.
I trust you'll do your best. Oh, and take this. Proof of that trust. And hopefully enough to keep prying eyes from looking too closely at that handsome face of yours. Now, I have matters to attend to at the Iron Flagon. If you find anything, ask for me there.
I should probably start here.
You wear the dame's brooch. She must trust you.
Enough to have me look for one of your colleagues. A woman by the name of Tatienne.
She's still missing then. Oh, if only I'd comforted her.
You saw her before she disappeared.
The day before, she was in tears. She'd lost her comb, a gift from the dame. It wasn't anything fancy, but you could tell it meant the world to her. You see, Tatienne was an orphan, and she looked upon the dame as a mother, as do we all.
So she was upset.
And I didn't lend her my shoulder. But perhaps someone else did. Tatienne shared a room. Her chambermaid may have seen something. She's over there, sitting by the pond.
Thank you. Let's see what her chambermaid can tell us then.
So you're the new escort the girls have been talking about. And you've already been sent off on an errand, eh? Poor boy. You'll be knackered before the real work begins later on tonight.
I'm told you share a bedchamber with Tatienne. Did she say anything to you before?
Before she went missing. Only that she needed to meet with someone. She did mention a name, but I know exactly who she meant.
You do?
Lad from the garrison. Annoying little shit. Spent every guil he earned on Tatienne, and picked fights with anyone else who tried to buy her time. Followed her around like a lost puppy. Tatienne was flattered at first, but it didn't take long for her to get scared. She thought about saying something. But the dame was so proud of her for how much she was bringing in, and she didn't want to let her down.
This man from the garrison. Did you ever see him?
Of course I did. He tried to sneak into our room enough times. Slimy sod's got a scar over one eye. Claims he got it in battle.
You've been very helpful.
Don't let him get away with this. Find him, and you'll find her.
A man from the garrison. Seems a trip to the barracks is in order.
I haven't seen you around the Vale of late.
Excuse me, you there? The gentleman with the sword? I cannot help but notice you bear the moon and stars. So you are an associate of the dame's? Might I trouble you for some assistance? You'll be rewarded, of course.
And who exactly would I be assisting?
Oh, forgive me. I am Etienne, a humble merchant, though fortunate enough to count the dame among my acquaintances. I have business beyond these walls, but the guards have grown somewhat suspicious of my comings and goings of late. I was hoping someone might be kind enough to go in my stead. And who better than someone in the employ of the Vale's proprietress? Would you be willing to help a fellow in his hour of need?
Why not?
Marvelous. The task is simple enough. Pass through the gate and deliver packages to a few of my most valued clients. There are 3 in total: a grocer, an apothecary, and a distiller. You need only mention that the items you carry are fresh from the master's table.
Nothing dangerous, I hope.
Why, of course not. Merely trifles which folk beyond the checkpoint are keen to get their hands on. And though I cannot prevent you from peeking, I advise that you don't. Strongly advise.
Oh, the markets are a veritable middle. Teeming with fur.
Sergeant's got it in for us two. As if... Where's your commanding officer, Branded? Don't you know the training grounds are for real soldiers?
Hey, you lost or something? Sorry, but the Imperial Guard's got no use for your kind. The infantry always needs more bodies, though.
I'm just passing through.
I don't bloody believe it. The bastard's wearing the moon and stars.
That'll be why he's strutting about like he owns the place.
The dame laughed when we offered her our protection. You reckon this prick's really worth a couple of the Emperor's finest?
I dare say there's ways of finding out. How about it, Branded? Care to show us how you earned that brooch?
I'd rather not.
Oh, no doubt. Only chivalrous souls that we are, Robin and I need to know the dame's being properly looked after.
Fine. If it'll put your mind at ease.
Oh, and just so you know, I won't be holding back. I suggest you don't either. Take a moment to get ready if you need it. Wouldn't want you whining about an unfair fight. Now, let's get the measure of you, shall we?
If that's what you want.
Cocky bastard. All right, let's be having you. Oh, and when you go crying, mistress, tell her it was Leon.
Bro, are you serious? I mean, come on with this guy.
Use all the dirty tricks you want, Brandon. All right. So you know one end of a blade from the other. Enough. Fuck me.
What the hell are you playing at, Leon? Ah, so it's a real challenge he wants, is it? Fine. Sword up, bearer. Let's have some fun, shall we? How'd a bearer win the dame's favour anyway?
By knowing when to hold my tongue for a start.
You got potential. I'll give you that.
It's over.
I'll be damned.
Can I go now?
Grieger's gas. The bastard didn't even break a sweat.
The dame's man or no, he's still a branded. Best hope the sergeant never hears about this.
Yeah, not after the bollocking he gave us for missing drills. Might be the old sod had a point.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, good bloody riddance. At least we know the dame's in safe hands, I suppose.
Do us a favour. If you have to tell the dame about this, tell her we got a good few hits in, eh?
And why in the world would I say that?
The Emperor's finest, thrashed by a branded. Sergeant may be a servant. It's not been half a moon since Belling's.
Heard the bones fell favourably. To the Vale, then, isn't it?
What do you think?
I don't know how a bearer came by the moon and stars, but thank goodness I found you. Can I trust you to be discreet?
About what?
About this. About what I wish to ask of you. About the fact that I, a humble creature, assist the Dame of the Vale in her endeavours. As unlikely as it may seem, there are those within the upper echelons of Samberquois society who find the Empire's treatment of bearers to be barbaric.
All right. But what do you want from me?
This town is carried upon the backs of its bearers, and yet many would see their servants starve. Not for the want of coin, simple fare cost little more than a pittance, but to revel in the suffering of others, a simple act of cruelty. Contemptible though it is, my countrymen would sooner cut off their noses to spite their faces than see their bearers fed. And despite my best attempts at secrecy, my efforts to dole out comestibles have been noticed. Which brings me to my request. The brand upon your cheek affords you a certain freedom, a freedom I could sorely use.
Fine. What do you need me to do?
Oh, thank you. An extra meal may not seem like much, but it will make all the difference. Here, deliver these, but keep them hidden. Quickly now. What food I can provide goes where the need is greatest. And today that happens to be the barracks. 3 bearers, overworked and underfed, not permitted a moment's rest.
It's no wonder so many die before their time.
Tragic, true, but do not let anger make you careless. People will view this act of mercy as an undermining of the Empire's authority. Be discreet for both our sakes, and for the sake of those we feed. Oh, and when you're finished, a word in the ear of one of the Dame's girls would be appreciated.
You won't be staying then?
I'm afraid not. I'm expected back in the capital, and have already risked much speaking with you this long.
Crystal's curse is bad enough. We can't let people starve as well.
Heard the bones fell favourably.
Are you waiting for it to heal on its own? Hurry up!
Looks like now's not the time. You look like you need a rest.
Not half as much as I need this. Thank you. I don't eat it here, though. Not where anyone might see.
Has it always been this bad?
Oh, it was worse before the Chamberlain. I'd be dead without him. Me and many others.
That's something at least.
That's the day done then. Drinks.
With the right to confiscate any objects.
Come, treat yourself.
How about a plum?
and a
For the
Chinese
apple
roast
of your
dinner.
eye.
It all smells so...
I warn you now, I don't sell to your kind, whether you have the coin or not. Where's your master anyway?
Etienne sent me.
Didn't know he had his own bearer. Business must be booming. All right, quickly now, before the guards notice. That is no burden off my back. And this is for Etienne.
All this for a drink.
Not just any drink. The very best, specially distilled for my most discerning customers. The guards find that, they'll seize it before you can blink. You keep it well hidden, all right? If Etienne likes it, tell him there's more where that came from. For a price, of course.
Of course.
I have no business with Branded.
Well, I have business with you. A package. Fresh from the master's table.
I do not know you. Where is the merchant, Etienne?
Somewhere the gate guards won't be paying him or his affairs any mind.
Fine. Hand over the goods and be gone. This is lighter than usual. Branded, if I discover you have played me false...
I can always take it back.
You will do no such thing. Your master should cut out your insolent tongue. Had you been the tool of any other man, I would see you clapped in chains. Payment. Take it and get out of my sight.
Cigars?
Those cigars are worth more than your life. Do be careful.
However do they get the...
There's nothing here for your kind, Branded. Go on now. Shoot.
I have a delivery from Etienne. Fresh from the master's table.
Why didn't you say so? Times are hard. But this here'll make them less so. For a while, at least. Sorry about the welcome. Meant nothing by it. You wait right here. Here.
You can tell Etienne I'm a man of my word.
Perfume.
Oriflamme's finest. Just as promised.
Perfume, cigars, and spirits. Someone has expensive tastes. The question is, how can they afford to maintain them? I suppose there's only one way to find out.
That's the day done then. Drinks and the veil. How about...
I have something for you.
From the Chamberlain. Thank you. You need to leave. Now. Please.
Branded! Who told you to rest? Stoke those damn flames! And you! If you've got a message for me, out with it. If not, return to your post.
Did one of them get on this?
Ah, you have returned.
I believe these are yours.
Delightful. The dame will be pleased.
You don't say. And would she be pleased to learn what you had to exchange for those items?
You mean the crystals? No need to be coy, my boy.
Why not just tell me in the first place?
An honest man wears deception like shackles about his ankles. I couldn't risk you stumbling under the gaze of the guards. After all, we both know the punishment for dealing in unsanctioned crystals, even such morsels as I provide. And if you don't know what this day's work may have cost you, then, well, I dare say you'll sleep all the better for it. Despite the risk, our friends beyond the wall gladly give their finest and most treasured wares for the paltry crumbs I trade in.
I didn't realize crystals were so scarce here.
As scarce as chocobo teeth, hence the thriving market for even the scantest fragments. Do you think it vulgar that I profit from the hardship of others?
I think you're doing what you believe is necessary.
Yeah, indeed. And I don't doubt the dame would agree. A reward for a job well done. I have the goods I was commissioned to gather, and the guards are none the wiser. I thank you, as will our mutual friend when she hears of how you have aided me.
Enough! Curse you! Get away from me! You'll work faster next time if you know what's good for you!
Here. It looks like you need it.
The Chamberlain must have sent you, but alas, my work is far from over. If I don't go now, they'll beat me.
You need to rest.
But I won't. I've wounds to heal and bones to mend.
And what of your own hurts?
They'll wait.
as will my hunger. Thank you, though. A drover has more regard for his cattle than the Empire does its bearers. Anyway, I'd better head to the Vale.
That bastard!
All right. Are you here for business or pleasure?
Business, though not my own. The Chamberlain put me to work delivering food.
Ah, so he found someone to help him then. Just as well. I hear his friends back at court have been taking a little too much interest in him of late.
So he really is a Chamberlain.
There was a time when he was the Vale's most illustrious customer. Us girls thought of him as a generous uncle. He was one of the only people round here who seemed bothered by the way the Empire treats its bearers.
Rare for one in his position.
A fact not wasted on the dame. A little nudge from her is all it took, and he became the patron saint of Northreach's starving masses. My sisters and I may have lost an uncle, but bearers are being fed for a change, so we don't grumble. Much.
Glad to hear it.
Gives you faith, though, doesn't it? To know there are people out there like him. And you, for that matter. It's no wonder the dame's got a soft spot for you.
I better be going.
Well then, I suppose you'll need a little something to remember me by.
Oh, the markets are up.
That bastard! Knocks it out of my ass!
Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to try to keep on this normal schedule of streaming on the weekends and trying to have the episode out on YouTube by Sunday. So look forward to that. I'll see you next weekend, and until then, take care.